let's glue these two pieces together. The clamps come from underneath these pipe clamps. Notice that there's places to put them in this assembly table, this glue table. And I want to have two clamps underneath, fairly close to the edge, and then I'm going to put another one over the top, right in the center. So this is going to be a 3-clamp glue up. Now let's talk about the wood that I just cut. Where they come together needs to be a jointed edge. And this worked out well because that is the edge that I jointed over on the jointer. Now, if I wanted to do it this way, I could do that, but I would need to go joint these edges again. And because that is the table sawn edge, which is not good enough for a glue joint. So, either way. But I choose to do it this way because that's what looks good. To me, that's what looks good. So let's do a dry fit. That's when we put things together with clamps without glue to make sure it's going to work out all right. So you want to make the two faces flush with each other and then tighten them up. The bottom surface of this may or may not be flush. In fact, you can kind of see that it's not, and that's okay. As long as the surface is. You know, the center one goes right here. Now, can you see right here this black line? I haven't put the clamp on it yet, and that black line has to go away. If it doesn't, then there's a problem. What I want is this to be nice and clean. And there's a little bit more of a line there than I'd like it to be, like there's something separating it. So I'm going to take it apart and go rejoint that edge. You may not have to. But I'm going to. Try it again. Face is flush. I can tell this is already a much better joint. Flush there. That's nice. So I can't see any black line there anymore. Like there's no separation. That's what the dry fit does. So, looks good. Let's take it apart and glue it. Lean that one up. The glue is right here. Apply it to one surface. Spread it with your finger so that it covers everywhere. Notice the amount. So in this case, I'm going to have more than I need. And that's better than the alternative, which is to have not enough glue. Too much is not a problem in this case. And that squeeze out is what we want. So notice I'm just adjusting these halves so that they're flush on top. And then slowly clamp it in until it grabs. That's nice. Once it's grabbed, it's smooth, then snug these up. And they're pretty tight. I don't know if they're as tight as I can make them. They're just short of that, but they're putting quite a bit of pressure on this. Now let's wipe off the excess glue. I'm using a wet cloth. The cloths usually hang out on the glue table, but you will need to get them wet. Take them over to the sink and get them damp. Bring out the excess. I'm going to have a spot underneath the clamp there, and that's okay. To get that later. That's what it's going to look like when it's got a finish on it. Isn't that pretty? Back side also. Now what you don't clean off now, you're going to have to scrape off once it's dry. So it's much easier right now. Plus, when you scrape things, sometimes it'll tear the fibers of the wood. Which is undesirable. Okay, put your name on it. Period you're in. And I'm going to take it off the table, put it over here to dry in the glue drying area. It needs to sit overnight in this case, so that it's fully cured before we're taking it to the planer into the sand.